Hello, this is the Cobra RM40SPC, which is a 16-inch self-propelled rotary mower with a roller that gives a lovely stripe on your lawn when you mow it. So this is how it arrives in the cardboard box. So what I'm going to do is cut the tape. We can take everything out and I'll show you just how easy and fast it is to get it ready for mowing your lawn. Well, there it is, all unpacked from the cardboard box. All the protective wrappings and films have been taken off. So we've got the mower here. This is the 16-inch mower. The handlebars are all folded down, so we do need to do a little bit of assembly on that, which I'll show you in a second or two. We've got the manual here, the Cobra manual, engine manual, so everything you need to know about the mower. So read that and keep it somewhere in a safe space. We've got a couple of cable clips which we'll need when we do the handlebars, and a spark plug socket should you ever need it. Then we've got the grass collection bag here. This is partly assembled, but we just need to finish it off. It's done like that for transit reasons, so we can just clip this rubber rim here onto this steel pole. Now, if it's cold when you're doing this, just a little tip is just to warm this through in your fingers, just to soften the rubber a little bit, just for a minute or two, and then it will make it so much easier to clip over there. Okay, so that clips into position like that, and then these two side pieces just clip from the inside. Just get your thumb in there and clip it again around that little bit of framework, and the same with this one. Just make sure that that opens up like that and then clip it onto there. So that's really secure now. So that is finished, except for taking off these protective little plastic caps. I'm just going to twist those off, one there and one like that. Again, it's just to stop these ends doing any damage to the paintwork in transit. So I'm going to pop that onto the floor because we're finished with that for the time being. And then we can start to put together the handlebars. The only tool you're going to need to do this is you need to have a 13mm spanner. So nothing else that will do it. So what I'm going to do is just take this apart, but also on this we've got more protective caps. So again, to stop any damage, so they just simply slide off like that. And then what we can do is to lift the handlebar like this. And it's already partly put together, as you can see, and we've got the various cables that we need for throttles and levers and that type of thing. So what I'm going to do is now fold this and just put that there so it will support itself while I get ready for assembling, because these are the brackets where we're going to attach the handles to, and we've already got on these some nuts and bolts that have been put in at the factory. They're just finger tight, so I'm just going to take those off and put them there because we'll need them in just a minute or two to put it all back together. And then do the same on this side, and then we can get the handlebars up into position and put it all back together. What we need to do then is to get the handlebars into place. So it's just a case of lining up the holes with these flat pieces like that. So we've got the flattened end of the handlebar into this bracket so that the square holes line through like that. And then we've got our little bolt that's got a square on the end, and that will slot through and hold it in place like that. And then I'm going to put a flat washer onto it, split washer, and the nut. And I'm just going to do it finger tight to start with. Just get that on there, and we'll tighten that up and finish it off with the spanner. And then it's just a case of jiggling it to get the second one into the hole. So just a little bit of a wiggle like that, and exactly the same. It's the flat washer, the little split washer, and the little hexagonal nut. And then it's just a case of, with your 13mm spanner, just tightening that up. So we want to tighten it so that we flatten out that little spring or split washer on there, which is there to stop the nut vibrating off when we're using the mower. So we want it fairly tight, And then it's just a case of repeating that on the other side. So bolt in there, and then we can put on the washers and the nut and then tighten it up. And once we've got them on finger tight, we can again get the spanner and just tighten them up. Right, so that's those on. We don't need the spanner anymore now. Everything is nice and firm, secure just here. So then it's just simply a case of lifting up the handlebar, making sure we don't trap any cables as we do it, making sure that they all fit round properly. So I'm just going to make sure that that one goes around there like that, so nothing is trapped. And then with these red levers, we just tighten those on. They just click into place, and that holds the handlebars nice and firmly like that. So that's the assembly of that. The other thing we've got to do is just to put on the cable clips to stop these cables from flapping around. So we've just got a single cable here. So I'm going to put the clip over the cable, and then that just clips onto the handlebar and holds that in position. And here we've got two. So again, just put them in there first. It's the easiest way to do it, I find. And then we can clip that into position, and they're fine. So handlebar assembly is now complete. So the other thing we've got to do is to get some fuel in it. When they arrive, they've got no oil, no petrol in. The oil is provided with the mower. So what we need to do is to make sure we put the petrol in, and then we'll put the oil in the cap just down there. So I'm just going to take off the filler cap, and with the introduction of the new E10 petrol, it's really important that you use fresh petrol and don't leave it in the tank too long. And you can get a fuel stabilizer as well, just to make sure your mower runs nice and smoothly. So we're just going to pour some nice clean petrol into the tank. Okay, so that's the petrol in. Put the cap straight back on, and then the other is oil. As I said, the oil is provided. You'll be sent a 0.6 of a litre 4-stroke engine oil for your mower, and this particular model here takes the whole of this. It takes 0.6 of a litre. So this is the oil filler cap just here, the yellow one. It's also the dipstick as well. So I'm just going to take that out, and just to make it a little bit easier to pour, though I think we can get in there. I think there's room to do it, but you can alter this if you want to. You can lift it, but that will go in there. So we need to put all of this in. Right, I'm just going to check that with the dipstick. I've put most of the oil in, but occasionally there's a little bit of residue from when the engines are tested in the factory. So I'm just going to wipe the dipstick, and I can see that that's settled down there. I'm just going to screw the dipstick in to the tight position, and then slacken it off and take it out and just check the oil. Now, the problem with this being a new mower and the engine oil is clean, it's difficult to see, but I can see there the oil is just at that point there where the cross hatching stops, where my finger is pointing to. It says max, and I can just see the oil has got to that point. So that is now perfect, and we can put the cap on, and we're all fueled up and ready to go. So what we'll do is lift this down off the table, take it onto the lawn, and I'll show you how to start it. First thing I want to do before we start it is to put on the grass collection box, and that goes on the back here. We can see if we open it up, that's the chute where the grass blows out. This is the rear roller, and it simply hooks on to those stainless steel springs like that, and the flap holds that neatly in place. We've got the height adjustment so we can raise and lower the cutting deck, and it's got 6 positions. When you get it out of the box, it will always be on the lowest, almost touching the ground. So we don't want to start the mower like that, because it's going to scalp the grass and put some strain on the engine. So we always lift it to a high position so there's plenty of airflow under there. Makes it much easier to start the engine. And then of course when the engine is running, you can put it down to the cutting height that you require. So we'll start with that high. Pull cord here. What we need to do with that is to hook it onto the little bracket on the handlebar. So there's a red lever on the handlebar here. If we pull that in, it just takes off some of the compression from the engine. We can pull it out just nice and slowly, and it just loops around that little bracket there, and holds it into place. So when we start the mower, normally we can do it from a standing position instead of having to bend down. To start the mower, we have to pull the red lever in, start the engine, and then the blades will be going around. And when we want to stop it, we just simply release it. So it's a really good safety feature. Release it and the mower stops. And then when the engine is running and we want to go forward, remember this is a self-propelled mower, so it powers itself. We push in the lever at the back and that propels the roller and takes the mower forward. And starting is very simple. We've got a lever here with a choke on it. So we pull it back into the choke position. As soon as the engine fires, we can push it off choke. There is no throttle, it automatically regulates the throttle revs on the mower. Let's start it up. So choke on, red lever back, pull this and away we go, and then I can self-propel forward. Now bear in mind, this is the first time this mower's been started from the factory, so you might need to pull it 2 or 3 times initially, but after that you should get it on the first one. So there you have it, the Cobra RM40SPC, the self-propelled rotary mower with a roller. Makes a smashing job and will make your lawn look really, really good through the summer months.
Remember to register your Cobra online at www.cobragarden.co.uk. Always have your Cobra serviced regularly. Check the website for your nearest dealer.